Hey everyone, Ben here and welcome back to the channel. It's the festive season and in that spirit this video is part of a new series I'm working on with Race Department to close out 2021. In it I want to celebrate the things that individual sim racing titles do best. In part 1 we looked at AMS2 and in part 2 we're looking at RaceRoom from Sector 3 Studios. Now fans of the channel will know that I properly rate RaceRoom. It's the sim that I've dedicated the most time to and ultimately the one that I've had the most enjoyment with since I began online sim racing at the end of 2020. In fact, I've already made a video setting out why RaceRoom is my number one sim, which you can find a link to in the top right hand corner of the screen. And even though there are lots of newer titles with busier content release schedules and more modern graphics, there are a few things which I think RaceRoom arguably does better than any other sim. Remember, if you find yourself enjoying the video, please do leave a like and get subscribed so you don't miss out on the other videos in this series, and whether you agree or disagree with the points in the video, let me know in the comments. Pound for pound, I reckon that RaceRoom provides the most enjoyable ranked online racing experience of all current sims. And no, I haven't gone mad. Everyone knows that the king of online ranked racing is iRacing. It has a massive player base, is stacked full of licensed series, many of which provide full grids almost 24/7. But it's also incredibly expensive, suffers from occasional server issues and has its fair share of terrible driving standards and even toxic behaviour. By comparison, the scale of RaceRoom's ranked offering is much smaller, and if you log on outside of peak EU hours, servers can be quiet. But the weekly schedules have gradually expanded in 2021, encompassing weekly endurance races, additional rookie sessions, a selection of longer daily races, and even now includes AM, Pro and Elite servers depending on your safety rating and rank. The underlying systems are largely rock solid, with available servers displayed via the multiplayer tab of the main menu and your progress tracked via the in-game portal, which displays data from every single race you've ever taken part in, as well as how your safety rating and overall rank have changed over time. And because RaceRoom's core driving experience is so good, more on that later, the racing itself is a joy. Like any semi-public lobby, racing standards can vary, but I can honestly say after a year of play, my experience has been much more positive here than anywhere else, especially in iRacing. Alongside this, a more lenient damage model and excellent netcode means door-to-door racing is more than possible, leading to some absolutely epic contests, as you can see from the vast number of race videos on this very channel. And the pricing model is way more generous too. Whatever the oddities of needing to purchase in-game currency for content, the fact remains you can essentially buy all of the available RaceRoom content for the same price as you might only get a small selection of tracks and a car or two in iRacing. And it can be even better value if you know what you want to race and select accordingly, with content largely 2/3 cheaper per item than the iRacing equivalent. I've been subscribed to iRacing for nearly as long as I've been playing ranked online on RaceRoom, and I can tell you there has very rarely been a week gone by where I haven't raced on RaceRoom's ranked servers. While despite being positioned as the premium service and one that I'm still paying for, the same cannot be said of iRacing. Speaking of iRacing, many are lauding the launch of 2 new TCR cars to the sim, and while I've yet to drive either, the reviews appear universally positive. Yet no other sim can really come close to the touring car offering of RaceRoom. The sim boasts a brilliant array of modern touring cars, including officially licensed content from across the last decade of WTCR and WTCC, together with a large roster of authentic tracks too. Major manufacturers ranging from Honda, Seat, Chevrolet, Renault, Audi, Alfa Romeo, Citroën and many more are all represented. Each car make and model handles distinctively with its own strengths and weaknesses, but the underlying physics of the front-wheel drive machines are absolutely superb. Friendly for beginners but also challenging to master, they almost never disappoint when it comes to close competitive racing. And then there's the massive amount of classic touring car content as well. including officially licensed DTM content from the 90s and older touring wagons from earlier decades too, which allow you to recreate epic races from days gone by. If you're a touring car veteran or have only just started enjoying them thanks to iRacing, you really do owe it to yourself to get stuck in to the brilliant touring car content that RaceRoom has to offer. Finally, we're at perhaps the most controversial take to date, because everyone knows that beyond a base level of detail and sophistication, force feedback can be highly subjective and also depends to a degree on the equipment that you're running with. But taking all of that into consideration, I feel like RaceRoom boasts the best force feedback that I currently race. Benefiting from a major update earlier this year, the force feedback has become more detailed and progressive, responding to the actual physics of the game and massively scaling back canned effects that were essentially there for immersion only. The sim now also boasts a brilliant in-game calibration tool to assist you in getting the most out of your wheel. There are certainly titles out there with more brash force feedback, but coupled with recent physics upgrades for many cars, I find the subtle and precise effects of RaceRoom ensure that I get the most amount of information through my wheelbase, which in turn means I have more confidence in understanding what my virtual car is doing at any given stage of the race, whether it be responding to under or oversteer, tyre slip, or particular bumps and curbs. To put it into context, Assetto Corsa Competizione recently released its own major update, which brought with it force feedback improvements, which I've also been greatly enjoying. But when I stopped to think why, I realised ultimately it's because they've made ACC feel a lot more like RaceRoom. So there you go, the 3 things that for me RaceRoom currently does better than any other title. Of course, much like AMS2 in the previous video of this series, RaceRoom does lots of other things really well too, but this isn't designed as a comprehensive review of the game, more a celebration of the things which really stand out for me. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do remember to leave a like to help more people find the video on YouTube, get subscribed to the channel, and I will see you on the next one.